February the 16th, 2014. Guys, these are Earth-facing images of the SDO. We've had an M1 flare, which is not strong right there. You see it, but then it created a coronal mass ejection, and that is definitely Earth-facing. The satellites have not picked up the energy. It's not on the flare tracker yet. Possibly by later this afternoon it will be. But what we got, I'll pull it up and we'll take a look at it. We've got these three areas. To the far right is still our X-flare capable area. Here we have filaments that are the four twisters there, 5 twisters you see in a row. Right there. Now, again, as that comes under, take a look at these darker areas under the, and these are filaments, guys. You have one to the left, then a huge U-shaped one right there. That's unusual, and it's connecting those two dots. Let's hope it stays intact because that one's large. And you can, in the shadows of this, you can see with that blue shadow of the ejection. But guys, this week may be a week to watch for filament releases, and they are strong, especially the large ones that are Earth-facing. They can do damage to satellites, things like that. Also create compression on the Earth. But let's pull this up and take a look a little closer to that. Again, these are unusual formations. You don't usually see a large looping area that big in one of these filaments. And at any time, just a given spark from one of these sunspots, guys, can release these. We've seen it for years now. But again, this week is one to watch because we have them all across the face of the sun this week. But we do have an area of calm, except for these filaments. After this section of flares you see here, there's not a lot of activity to the left for the next few days. So we may get some quietening there. Check this out. You can see to the left. But that flare that's Earth-facing in the center is still beta gamma. It is not triple configurated. The one on the right is. And that's what we're watching. Again, you notice the red and the blue there in the center. If those things start to merge, we will see this become triple configurated or X flare capable. And you're looking at directly Earth-facing images. Quick 3-day scan of the LASCO C2 camera. Notice the dates. That was Valentine's on the 14th, 15th yesterday. As we go through. And then we'll come into the 16th. You saw that large flare, guys. Just a few frames on this camera, but right into the 16th is where we see this flare. So it's larger than it looked. But when you see one encompass and blow out that way, encompass the entire facing disk of the sun, you know it's large. Now, I wanted to do some math while I'm here on Comet Linear's approach. This is in May this year, May 24th. The Earth is moving forward at 67,000 miles per hour. It will take 30 hours to pass through Comet Linear's debris field. I'm trying to put together the math here. So what does that tell us about the size of the field? That's my point. Notice in the center of this debris field, where it's darker red and orange yellow, that is what they're considering to be the thickest part, the most debris. Now, in one day, not 30 hours, the Earth will travel 1.6 million miles. You can look this up. It's available information. So, what is it saying? Concerning the Earth's motion about the sun, each year, 365.26 days, every one of us travel 584 million miles. That's 1.6 million per day. This means that a debris field is 2 million miles wide. It's actually 2,010,000 miles wide to get it right down and accurate. That's a wide debris field, guys. Now, the comet is not supposed to hit the Earth. It's going to pass over the Earth and dive in front of us before we get to that crossing point. You see what I'm saying? But just a few days after the passing this year, I'm talking about it's close, about 1.5 million miles, which is close in space. The sun is 92 million miles away. Now, the size of the nucleus is varied. On one report, they have it up to 31 miles wide. Another says 3.1 miles. Some say 600 meters. We were told ISON was 3.1 miles wide. We were lied to. The rocks, as it broke apart and came around the sun, were hundreds of miles wide each in that debris field. easily. So what are we going to be dealing with here, guys? That this is, again, we're looking at the 24th. Pope's going to be in Israel. It makes you wonder, if they know that we're going through this, how many people are going to be underground? It'll be a time to watch. Be safe.